Welcome to Extreme E. Welcome to Extreme E. Welcome to Extreme E. Okay, I've got this. Roll the camera. That's it. It's already on. Okay. Wait. Welcome to Formula E as. No, for fucks. Unroll the camera. Unroll it. Extreme E begins this weekend. In fact, it's already begun this weekend, but we're trying to get this video out before they begin the races tomorrow. As in this video, I'll be covering all things Extreme E. We're talking about the car, the format of the races of the weekend, the points, this grid placing, talk about the calendar, and of course the teams and drivers. So let's begin with the car, the Odyssey 21 E SUV. So this E-SUV was introduced at Goodwood 2019 at the Festival of Speed. It's made by Spark Racing Technology. Also made the inaugural Formula E car, and also has Williams Advanced Engineering producing the batteries. And the batteries on the front and rear, they've got a couple of motors. They produce 450 kilowatts, 550 horsepower, so a bit more than the normal Formula E car. But this car does weigh a bit more than a Formula E car, 1,650 kilograms. It also produces 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds. And the batteries, they weigh 400 kilograms and have a voltage of 800 volts. And there was an interesting video with Marcus Ekstrom demonstrating the car and showing it off. And they show how it's kind of how they charge the batteries and how they try and keep them cool as well, especially with, of course, the very hot conditions at Saudi Arabia this weekend. The cars are 2.3 metres wide, they are 37-inch high and 12.5-inch wide Continental tyres, and the car did a shakedown with Goran Shifret, I don't know how to say his name, I apologise, at Dakar 2020, and also competed on the final stage with Ken Block, and he actually produced a time which was actually third fastest for the car class. So this car's pretty damn quick. And the teams received the cars in September 2020, did some extensive testing as well in the off-season, but this is the first time they raced them in anger. And we get to see these cars in anger over the weekend, as the format is on Friday. They do a shakedown, so yesterday we saw particularly Chip Ganassi run into major issues of a crash and just general problems as well with their car. And then on Saturday we have the two qualifying sessions, so they're both time trial events. So in qualifying 1, a lottery draw decides the running order. The two times handed together from the sessions, they are the qualifying times. And these qualifying sessions also enable both drivers to take part in. So the male and female driver will do one lap each, just like we will see in the races on Sunday. And in qualifying you do also earn points. So you get 12 points for being first, then 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 and 4. On Sunday we have 4 races. So the top 3 from qualifying go into semi-final 1. The next 3 go into the crazy race. And then the bottom 3 go into the shootout. So the top 2 from semi-final 1 go through to the final, and then the winner of the crazy race joins them. And then of course those 3 battle out for the overall victory in the final. So in the finals, the final result, you get points given of 25 to the victor, then it's 19 and 18 for completing the podium, then 15, 12, 10, 8, 6 and 4 for 9th. Any team which is disqualified from the semi-final or final, they get no points at all. And so the points that you earn, you can earn up to that 37 points there. So if you have like a weekend, say for like Veloce or at Cupra, who are struggling to make it through or will not compete for the rest of the weekend after issues in qualifying, well, you're playing catch up for the rest of the season. And in the qualifying races you will see Hyperdrive, which is basically Extreme E's version of like the attack mode boost, power boost you get. So with Hyperdrive you get 4 seconds of power boost, and we saw in qualifying teams were using it when they're exiting say the switch zone, or exiting say like the big jump as well, carrying that momentum downhill, or near the end of the lap as well, where he had a bit of a wider kind of track, you know, a bit more like, say, Baja 1000 territory, where you could just go flat out gun it. So it'd be interesting to see how teams use this in the race when battling each other with 3 cars. You know, you might want that boost on the exit of a corner so you can get a good run, you know, ahead of your opponents, get the sand in there, windscreen as well, and try and put away a bit like that. Also, unfortunately, saw in qualifying quite a lot of penalties. So we do have the switch zone, and heading into that switch zone, you do of course have a speed limit through there, which is I believe 40 kilometers this weekend. So every kilometer you're over that speed limit, you get a 5-second penalty. So for example, if you go through there like at 45 kilometers, that's 5 kilometers over, so you get a 25-second penalty. Unfortunately, saw that for a couple of teams in qualifying. But then there's also a compulsory pit stop time, just like you see in some sport car series as well, where there's a 45-second pit stop time. So that's just a safety feature, it's just enable, you know, all the belts are tightened up, so they're not doing it on pit exit, and you know the driver is ready to just exit the switch zone. So if you're under that time, of course, you get penalised as well, as you saw for Jenson Button's team as well. So it's going to be crucial on the switch zones not to make mistakes. You can't really gain too much time from the switch zones, but you can definitely lose a lot. And you may be wondering, well, we can set the qualifying sets the grid basically for the semi-final, for the crazy race and the shootout. How do you do it for the final? Well, this is where grid play comes in, and grid play is basically like Extreme Z's version of Fan Boost. I don't know why Sandro Garg likes this in his series, but this is where we can vote. The fans can vote on the Extreme E website or Twitter for their favourite driver twice per day, when voting begins 4 days before the final and ends an hour after the start of the crazy race. So it's a bit different from Formula E though, as the votes for each driver for each team get headed up. So it's basically almost like a team event, and that calculates the team's score, and then the 3 teams that have qualified the final take its percentage of the votes, and then the other teams which don't make the final have their votes given to the team of their choice. At least this was what was said last year. I'm not sure if it's changed. Like, lots of the format and stuff has changed from the video that they produced last year on the Extreme E website. So this is interesting though, because the team that has the most votes can choose their grid slot for the final, and then second chooses theirs and third chooses theirs. So this could have a huge effect on the final result, because you could have a team that chooses to say like the inside lane, and so they see that as a shot towards that first gate to get ahead of everyone, maybe with a bit of like, you know, the boost as well. Could get a clear run to that first gate, and then that could dictate their kind of strategy for the rest of the race, and you know, be able to control the race. So this could actually have a big effect on the end result, could grid play, which makes this a bit, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about Fan Boost in Formula E either, but at least in Fan Boost in Formula E, we see that either used to try and overtake a driver, most of the time it's not successful, or try and set like a clear lap, you know, a quick lap when they found clean air. You know, it doesn't have too much of an effect on the overall result. Grid play could have a massive effect on that result. It could actually decide the race. As I said, if you choose your favourite grid slot and get away, it might win you the race. So yeah, not a big fan of it, but we'll see how it goes, especially in this first weekend. And this is the first weekend of 5, so let's check out this calendar. And the calendar begins with the Desert X Prix around Akiona in Saudi Arabia. And Extreme is not just about, you know, the racing competition. It's also here to, part of its ethos is to highlight, you know, diversity and equality, as well as you see of the drivers and teams format, but also highlight environmental issues. As I say, it's trying to be carbon neutral and highlight issues all over the world affecting us and this planet. And in Saudi Arabia, we've got this like sand and rock layout highlighting desertification and drought. So in this area you'll see like communities that depend on the, you know, occasional rain which happens during the year, and then that gives them the crops, and you know, that makes them their living. Unfortunately, with desertification and drought, they're not able to do that. We're seeing more communities, move away from these areas or just not able to make a living, and that is what Extreme E is highlighting this weekend. On their huge boat, which carries all their equipment all over the world, they also have scientists as well who can explain this much better than I can, and which will produce videos for each event as well and highlight the issues which X-Prix is meant to showcase. So that's the Desert X-Prix. Next up is the Ocean X-Prix on the 29th and 30th of May around Lac Rose in Senegal. As the name suggests, the pink lake. This sand and water layout is meant to highlight rising sea levels and plastic pollution, which is a massive problem for our oceans. And of course, with rising sea levels happening every year, we're going to see more communities on the edge of on the beaches, unfortunately be eroded away because of these rising sea levels. And then we've got the Arctic X-Prix on the 28th and 29th of August in Greenland, with an ice layer highlighting melting ice caps, which again is contributing to rising sea levels, and these ice caps are melting at the highest rate they're doing for thousands of years. So we desperately need to try and slow this down. And then on the Amazon X-Prix is next up on the 23rd and 24th of October in Para in the Amazon rainforest, with a mud and rock layout highlighting deforestation, which has been a massive issue under the government of Bolsonaro, the Brazilian president, who has accelerated the deforestation of the Amazon. And the Amazon rainforest is vitally important to the ecosystem of the world for helping us, control the kind of oxygen output, the carbon output that is in the air as well. And unfortunately, is going the wrong way under this government. And then we finally have the Glacier X-Prix on the 11th and 12th of December, as you've got the Terra del Fuego in Argentina, which again the name suggests, nice and rock layout highlighting glacial retreats. As on the tip of Argentina, they are seeing lots of glaciers melt as well and go into the sea. So each round is highlighting different environmental issue, and each round presents a unique challenge as well for the teams and drivers for the competition side as well. But yeah, very important for Extreme E is to highlight these issues and hopefully bring awareness to, there's so many issues around the world. I'm interested to see in the future if this calendar rotates around the world, or if this is like a fixed calendar with one or two rounds which are always there, because of course these issues aren't going away in a couple of years. They're going to take decades, hundreds of years maybe, to solve. So yeah, very interesting in the calendar for Extreme E. But of course there would be no competition without the teams or drivers, and Extreme E has a unique format with that, because we've got 9 teams, but it's required to be a male and female driver, which is fantastic. And I'm very excited to see some of these female drivers. I've not seen them race before, and it'll be their first time, some of them, actually doing some off-road racing. So let's look at them all, beginning with Abt Cupra. So Abt Cupra is a collaboration between the Abt Sports line, which has been the company associated with Audi for over 50 years now, in the likes of DTM and Formula E, and won championships in both, and Cupra, the Spanish electric brand, which has produced electric vehicles in the last couple of years, such as their touring cars as well. And driving for them is a familiar face, Matthias Ekstrom, a 2-time DTM champion in 2016, World Rallycross champion with Audi and with Abt as well. He has a 22-year association with the Abt team, and he joined Cupra as an E-ambassador in 2019. And alongside him is Claudia Hirschgin, who has 25 years worth of motorsport experience, mostly in touring cars and sports cars endurance races. She is the 2005 VLN, or what it used to be called VLN, champion, and has competed in ADAC GT4 and an Urban 24 Hours in recent years. So lots of experience of circuit racing there. But with Ekstrom at least there's some off-road experience, but I'm very interested to see how Claudia does on the sand, on the ice, on the mud as well. So next up is the Akiona Science Extreme E team. So Akiona were the first team to compete in the Dakar with a 100% electric vehicle, And there's also a technical partnership with QEV Technologies. And the science name in the team name you probably do recognise. No, it's not the F1 driver, it's his father, Carlos Sainz, the two-time World Rally Champion from 1990 and 1992, the three-time Dakar Champion in 2010, 2018 and 2020. He was also voted the best rally driver of all time last year by the fans, ahead of Sebastian Loeb. He is an off-road legend. And alongside him is another legend as well, Lena Sainz, the 13-time trial world champion, the 5-time enduro world champion, who also has 10 finishes in the Dakar Rally, with a best of 9th in 2015 in the motorcycle category, which is the best finish for a woman in that category. And this is her first time actually doing four-wheel racing. So despite having massive off-road experience along with Carlos Sainz, like, she's doing this for the first time behind the wheel. It'd be very interesting to see how she goes, especially as the season progresses. Third up is the super team Andretti United Extreme E. As Andretti Autosport, which you might recognise from IndyCar, Indy Lights, Formula E and GT4 America, join forces with United Autosports, the reigning champions in the WEC and European Le Mans Series in the LMP2 category, the 2020 Le Mans LMP2 winners, and European LMP3 champions. And these two already do join forces with Walkinshaw in supercars in Australia. So they're pretty good at endurance racing, and Andretti Autosport does already have off-road experience with the Global Rallycross Championship, where they won titles with Scott Speed a few years ago in the last decade. But this is a bit of a different challenge. And talking of Rallycross, their male driver is Timmy Hansen, the 2019 World Rallycross champion, the son of 14-time European Rallycross champion Kenneth, whose team he drives for alongside his brother Kevin. So Timmy Hansen has lots of experience off-road, but so does Katie Mullins as well, his teammate. She's competed on the European Rally Championship in recent years, winning the Ladies' Trophy in 2016 at the age of just 18, and finished 4th in the ERC3 category in 2019. That's for front-wheel drive rally cars. She also had a CBB show, Katie's Amazing Machines, in 2018, and made her debut on the junior WRC last year in Sweden, which unfortunately did not end well, but hopefully Extreme E Adventure does, as this is a very strong team. Next up we have another Spanish team, Hispano Suiza Excite Energy team. As Hispano Suiza was founded in 1904, and they made cars and aviation engines before the Second World War, but now they're back in competition over 100 years since their first victory as well. And driving for them is Christine GZ. She made her full-time competition debut in 2014 when she was regional champion in the Canary Islands front-wheel drive and B4 class. She made her debut in the WRC at Spain in 2016 as part of the first all-female rally team, and won the women's category in the Spanish Gravel Rally Championship. She has competed in off-road races in America and Mexico since 2017. She finished 7th in the Baja 1000 in the Pro UTV Turbo category, and last year was 3rd in the T2 category on the Road to Dakar Rally. And alongside her is Oliver Bennett. He competed in motocross at a young age until injury forced him onto four wheels. He made his debut in the British Rallycross Championship in 2016 and fought for the title in 2017. But since then he's competed in World Rallycross and the Americas Rallycross as well, to part in the Gymkhana, the Kim Block thing in 2018 as well. So these two don't actually have a lot of racing experience compared to most of the field, so it might be tough for them in doing well, but again, this is new for everyone, you just never know. And now we move on to Extreme E's newest team, just announced a few months ago, was JBXE, Jenson Button's team, and he is driving for them as well, the 2009 F1 champion and 2018 Super GT champion as well. He's had a pretty varied career since he's left F1. He's competed in the World Endurance Championship, including at Le Mans. He's competed in the British GT Championship, where he has a team, And he's done some off-roading actually in 2019 with the Mint 400 and Baja 1000. I know he says that experience hasn't really helped him with adapting to Extreme E. And alongside him is Michaela Alin Koloslinski. I apologise for my terrible pronunciation. She's competed in the Sirocco R Cup, the Audi Sport TT Cup in 2015, and the ADAC GT Masters in 2016. But since then, since being in the Audi Sport Racing Academy in 2017, she's competed in touring cars with the Scandinavian Touring Car Championship, where in 2018 she became the first woman to win a race in the series. She's also had a dab hand at trying rallycross, but this is actually properly her first go at off-road racing. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team performs. Like, they weren't able to take part in like the pre-season tests like basically every other team. It's on the back foot already. So it's going to be very tough for them to do well. And next up we see another F1 champions team, the Rosberg X Race, and an evolution of Team Rosberg, which was founded in 1994 by 1982 F1 champion Keke. But this team has been led by his son Nico, the 2016 F1 champion. And driving for them is perhaps one of the most accomplished female drivers in the field in Molly Taylor. She's the daughter of rally driver Mark Taylor and four-time Australian rally champion co-driver Coral. In 2016 she became the first Australian rally champion, female rally champion that is, and then she began her career though a decade earlier in 2006, becoming the two-litre two-wheel drive champion in the New South Wales Rally Championship, and then following out by winning the 2007-2008 F16 Australia Rally Champions. Then in 2009-2010 she came over to Britain and won the Ladies Championship in the British Rally Championship, but then stepped up to the world stage in 2011 competing in the Academy Series, which Craig Bryan, the current Hyundai driver, won. Then in 2013 she was the European Rally Champion in the ladies category, and she was the only woman to achieve a podium so far, that at least in the Junior World Rally Championship at Finland in 2014. So she is damn quick. And alongside her is perhaps one of the quickest drivers in the world at rallycross, and that is Johan Kristoffersson, the three-time World Rallycross champion from 2017, 18 and last year. He was also the 2012 Superstars champion, which was a Italian touring car championship, the 2012 Porsche Carrera Cup Scandinavia champion, and the 2012 and 2018 Scandinavian touring car champion as well. He also finished 5th in the 2019 World Touring Car Championship, or WTCR Championship. So this might be one of the favourites on the grid. Like, incredible experience from Molly Taylor of off-road racing, and also Johan Kristoffersson as well has, apart from touring cars and rallycross, he also does take part in rallies, and he took part in the Arctic Rally last month in the WRC, not last month, the month before in the WRC as well. And talking of strong teams, next up we've got the Seigi TV Chip Ganassi racing team. As Chip Ganassi competes in IndyCar, NASCAR and IMSA, he's won 20 championships over the last 30 odd years now, with 225 race wins, including 4 Indy 500s, 8 Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona, the Daytona 500, the Brickyard 400, the Trail Hours of Sebring, and the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the GT category when they ran Ford. They're also teaming up with GMC Hummer, so their car will look slightly different with the aesthetics at the front, and Hummer EV was the world's first all-electric super truck. And they have got a powerful American lineup as well. Cole the Duck, the 6-time Pro 4 champion from the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. He also has over 100 wins in that series, which unfortunately folded in the off-season. The kid was the youngest driver in off-road racing, and he won the 2003 Pro Light Championship. He then moved from the two-wheel drive category to the Pro 4 four-wheel drive category in 2008, winning his first title in 2012, and he won the most recent title as well last year. So he's got lots of off-road experience and success. And alongside him is Sarah Price. She started her career on dirt bikes at the age of 8. She's a 19-time national champion who was the first female to be factory supported by Kawasaki as a motocross rider. She also won a medal at the Women's Super X at the X Games before switching to four wheels in 2012. She now works as a stunt professional for TV and films, so she's getting back into the racing seat with Extreme E. This is a team which is, I'm not sure how to rate them, to be honest. They could be very good or they could find it tough. We'll find out. And the penultimate team on the grid is Veloce Racing, which sees the esports organisation Veloce Esports step up into world racing for the first time. And on board, apart from the likes of John Eric Verne, who's part of the organisation, they also have Adrian Newey as lead visionary. And driving for them is one of their long-time associate drivers, and that is Jamie Chadwick, as she started her career in Ginetta Juniors before becoming the first female and longest ever champion in the British GT Championship, winning the 2015 GT4 title. She then moved to single-seaters with the British F3 in 2017 and became the first female to run a race in the championship in 2018. She's the 2018-19 MRF Challenge Champion and became the first W Series champion in 2019. Last year she competed in Formula Regional with Prema, unfortunately only finished 9th in the championship. But this is her first off-road experience. Despite competing in the lights of the Nürburgring 24 Hours, this is very different from GT or single-seater racing. But she's got a very good person alongside her to learn from, perhaps one of the most versatile drivers throughout all of the world, in Stefan Sarazan. As he began his career in single-seaters, he drove for Minardi in F1 in the Brazilian Grand Prix in 1999 before moving on to WRC, as he was part of the Subaru World Rally team, and he also drove for Aston Martin GTs as well at that time. And since then he's turned his eye to endurance racing, becoming a 4-time runner-up at Le Mans with Peugeot and Toyota, a 2-time Le Mans Series champion in 2007 and 2010 with Peugeot, but he still does take part in rallying. He won the Tour de Corse in 2014, and in that time he's also driven the likes of supercars in Australia. He's done 4 seasons in Formula E as well, grabbing 3 podiums. So very experienced lineup with Sarazan and for Chadwick as well, despite just being in her early 20s. So it'd be incredibly interesting to see how they go though. With Veloce, as I said, this is their first time taking part in real world racing after being a leading light in esports in the last few years. And last but not least, probably the favourites for the Extreme E title, Team X44. A team founded by Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time F1 World Champion. And driving for them is Cristina Gutierrez Herrero. She is someone who started racing at just the age of 4. She competed in the all-terrain Spanish Rally Championship, finished 2nd in that. She was the first Spanish woman to finish in the card category at the Dakar Rally, finishing 5th among rookies in 2017, and she's competed in the Dakar since then. She's got 4 finishes. She became the 2nd woman to win a Dakar stage in the lightweight category and actually led that category for the first 3 stages. She is seriously fast and experienced on off-road racing. And alongside her is perhaps one of the greatest drivers in off-road racing, and that is Sebastian Loeb, the 9-time World Rally Champion. He also has wins in GT racing from 2013, in the World Touring Car Championship, in the World Rallycross Championship. He won the X Games Gold in 2012. He won the Pikes Peak as well. He has a podium at Le Mans, an overall podium as well at Le Mans in 2006. And he has 2 podiums in the Dakar Rally from 2017 and 2019. Unfortunately this year, in his new effort with ProDrive, he had a bit of a poor Dakar, as he really did struggle with the navigation and just staying out of trouble. And we'll see if Loeb, who's recently split from his co-driver, his long-time co-driver Daniel Ayer as well, we'll see if he can improve in Extreme E from what happened in the Dakar. Like, he is someone who has one of the best CVs in racing, and as I say, Cristina Gutierrez alongside him is incredibly quick as well. This is a team to beat probably. So there you go, that's all you need to know about Extreme E. The action has begun this weekend. So it's different all around the world, but here in the UK, you can catch the qualifying action, which happened today. You can catch that on Sky, BBC, and the Extremely website, or on the likes of like YouTube as well. But for the race action, you can catch that live on a main channel as well, ITV, which is incredible to say for motorsport. It's been a number of years, I think, since that's happened. But you can also catch it on BT Sport, Sky, and BBC as well, with a delay, that is. And we've got Andrew Coley, who normally does the Rallycross. He's the main commentator, along with Jenny Gow, who has great experience in MotoGP and F1, as well does the 5 Live, I believe, for F1 night. She's a fantastic presenter, but she's stepping into the commentary box, so it'd be great to see how she does. Like, she's an incredible presenter, so I'm sure she'll do very well alongside Cody in the commentary box. And on site, though, they do have a reporter, which is Leila Anna Lee as well, who's presented sports for over a decade. So great experience on the presenting side, as is heard as well from the teams and drivers as well. All that's left is to see how well these teams compete in Saudi Arabia and for the other 4 rounds. But I hope you enjoyed this little look at Extreme E. I'm very interested to see how it goes. Not just for the racing side, but how well it does, promoting the other sides of its ethos as well throughout the year. And I'll be back next time with some more Power Oversteer. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. See, didn't even say Formula E at least once in there. Hey. No other E series though. Don't make Airy or something, Don't need plain electric racing anytime soon. At least for another decade. Then we can do that properly. Mooney, yeah, where you race towards, where you have shuttle racing towards the moon. Oh god, Marsy. Surely Elon Musk is working on that as well, getting Teslas racing towards Mars. Man, so you can put E at the end of anything, can't you?